Good afternoon, everybody. Painblade back here again from Server 1, representing IC and Tribes Lab. Today, guys, we're going to do something a little different. I know I've done a lot of showcases. We've done a ton now. I think we're at like 26 characters covered out of the 48 character roster. So, I mean, we're past the halfway point, and I'm going to continue going. But today, what I wanted to do, actually, guys, is kind of revisit some of the showcases and go over them and see if what I originally had uh, given the score to the characters that are listed in these showcases, are they still valid or not? So I think this is going to be a valuable thing to review, especially for new players coming in, because you might be watching some of these showcases and you might be like, oh, okay, well, someone like Papa Sasuke, for example, we gave an S rating to back when we first started doing this, but now he's nowhere near that, right? So what I want to do is we want to call it. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. It's obviously a play on Drake's lyrics and song, but the reason why I'm doing this is because there was a lot of people who gave flack to certain characters who were definitely considered at the bottom at the time, but have risen to the top, and then vice versa. There's a lot that were at the top and have gone down to the bottom, right? So I'm going to go through each of these characters here, and we're going to say, are they at the top, are they expected, or are they now at the bottom? Okay, so for anybody that knew that's watching, this might be a better video to watch unless you want to go in depth with the character skills, attributes, and you want to watch an arena fight versus an overall overview of how this character ranks now. Okay, so let's go ahead and with the top from the top to the bottom. Okay, now this is no particular order. I'm just going from what you see on screen. So the first person is Guy. Now Guy was rated horribly on the tier list originally, and then his Limit Break 2 came out and people started using him, and they realized how good he really is. He's super tanky, he can hit really hard, and he has one of the most unique moves as counter, which isn't proccing as much as we'd like it to, but it still does proc, and when it does, it hits quite hard. So for Guy, we're going to give him to the top. Boruto, as a lot of people know, he is already one of the most powerful nukes in the game, especially for an SR. He hits like a UR. He hits better than most URs. But there are caveats behind his moves, right? He needs to be 50% health or higher, and he needs to make sure it's a three-man chain. So, with that being said, seven star Boruto, as expected, is a good unit. As everybody knows the meme, he is as expected. He's not at the top. He's not at the bottom. He's definitely where people expect him to be. And my ranking for him was accurate. Sasori at the bottom, with one exception, PvE. Now, with Sasori, the biggest problem with him is you actually want him to die. If he dies, he gives the most valuable minus defense debuff in the game to all opponents for the whole fight, which is, I think, minus 70 something percent at level 74. So you actually don't want to buff his health up too much, but you still want to buff his damage up, so getting his scrolls up. So he can do a lot of damage with poison, which does stack, by the way, which is surprising. And you can also have him die, and then he'll do the minus defense. So he's actually still at the bottom, but for PvE purposes, he's at the top, right? So keep that in mind. PvP bottom, PvE top. All right, Sakura Blossom, definitely at the top. This girl deserves a lot of credit. She is one of the best supports in the game, one of the tankiest supports in the game. She actually does a ton of healing, and she raises your tribe gauge just like Choji does in two different ways, but she also gives you damage reduction. So definitely at the top, guys. Put her on your list if you don't have her. If you're looking at someone who's tanky and heal, she's one of the best in the game. Chio, poor Chio. Okay, so I'm gonna give her at the bottom. She isn't bad, guys. Not as bad as we first expected, but only in PvE purposes. Like for example, this event with Itachi and Kasami, she's actually great in it to kill Kasami, but it's only one event. Overall, she's still at the bottom, so we're gonna keep her at the bottom. She ain't rising from the grave. Neji, you know what? He was hard one to choose. A lot of people were iffy about him, so I'm gonna give him at the top because I find him to be very useful in terms of nuke teams and crit teams, and he provides a lot of utility. At the same time, he actually hits pretty hard. So we're gonna put Neji at the top. If you do have him, guys, definitely level him. He'll provide you a lot of defense and a lot of offense and a lot of crit damage at the top level. Plus, he gives chakra. I mean, he's got a pretty full package there in terms of what he offers. Hinata stays at the top. She's as expected, though. Everybody knows Hinata's a hard hitter. She's as expected. She is at the top, but she's as expected. So nobody thought she was bad before, so she stays as expected. But that being said, if you do have her, guys, get her up. Her crit damage, her crit is insane. I have a video on her. Definitely watch that if you want to know how good she is. She is a monster. All right, so next one, Orochimaru. as expected. People knew he was good from the start. His LB2 just made him better. Now he actually does crit suppression for the opponent as well too, which lets you crit harder. So now he's become the most elite tank in the game in terms of debuffs. So definitely amazing, amazing. Hold on to him if you have him. Raise him up if you have him. 7-star Naruto UR, the free event, as expected. He's a great nuke, one of the free URs you got, and a lot of people got him to 6 and 7. He hits hard, he tanks well. Nobody thought he was bad, so as expected, stays as is. Rock Lee, as expected. We gave a great rank for him. Nothing's changed with him. He's still a crit monster. He does amazing attack buffs on himself. He does crit rate up for everybody, and also has incredible defense. So super tanky, super strong, and great at doing damage, especially with crit. Stays as is. Gara, I mean, he is at the top. He's the best UR in the game, hands down, but he is as expected. People expect that from him. Nothing has changed. He hasn't diminished. He hasn't got nerfed. He hasn't got buffed. He's still the top. He's still the top at the food chain. Like, he is the best of the best. You're not going to find somebody better than Gara. He's the first UR you want to get to 4-star, and he's going to be the first line of defense for you for all of your teams. So definitely one of the best characters. Sasuke Heavy, again, as expected. Gave a great review. Nothing changed. He didn't get nerfed. He still hits like a machine. Now he's even better because he gets damage increase rate up every turn. So definitely put him on your team, even at a 3-star level, guys. He doesn't need his LB2 to be successful. He can have his LB1 even without an LB. He's the only player in the game that has 2 stuns, right? So definitely good. 7-star I, just I in general, to the top. The man now has an incredible buff, which gives you damage reduction for the whole for the active allies. He was already super strong and super tanky, but now he's actually protecting your team as well and gives you a stun. So definitely at the top. I'd even put him above Guy personally. So I is a good addition to anyone's team, especially if you're looking for a tank and a damage dealer and somebody who can stun. Dadara, as expected, everybody knew he was the best support in the game for crit and crit damage. He stays where he is. Nothing's changed. No nerf. As a matter of fact, he's actually become more integral of people's teams, especially with events like the Itachi Kasami team. So we'll keep him there. Killer B to the bottom. Now, here's the thing. With every single matchup that I've done, and every single buff that I've given him, every time I've ranked him up, he still has the lowest stats for any UR in the game. It's really sad. And it takes him too long to buff himself up to get his attack going. So his LB2 gave him guard suppression, which is great. That means he actually bypasses some of the guard percentages, but it's still not enough to cement him at the expected level or at the top. We wanted him to be at the top, but he's not. He's literally at the bottom, so I'm going to keep him there for myself. So the rating I gave him, definitely lower than expected. So if you are watching the V video, guys, he's not as good as I said originally, because now I've actually tested him against some of the newer characters, and he's not up there. Mama Sakura, still at the top. She's as expected, though. We've been saying this for months. She is the best SR in the game, and that still stands. Her LB2 just cemented that even further. The best overall kit in the game, in my opinion, for any support, and at the same time, one of the best tribes in the game, too, if you'd like to use tribes. So she's as expected, but at the top. Oh, boy. Papa Sasuke. Adult Sasuke is at the bottom. We gave him an S rating when I first started doing these videos. He is now probably an A. Now, he is much better in PvE, I find. But PvP-wise, there are way too many other options that nuke stronger as an AoE and that just hit harder as a regular crit character. So he has dropped, we call him Papa Trash Can. That's what I like to call him. But honestly, guys, as a UR, he's not cutting it. Naruto Kage, as expected, to be honest. Everybody knew how tanky he was, and his LB2 just made him even more tanky, but only himself. He's a very selfish tank, but he's also one that's very hard to kill because he heals himself and has a ton of damage reduction rate. So definitely as expected. Sugetsu, bring him up to the top. This is the true mini Gaara. His new LB2 even adds more guard rate, so now he has become probably the tankiest of the tanks out there, but he hits like a wet noodle. But still, if you're looking for a pure tank, you add him into your team, and I promise you, you'll be surviving a lot longer. So Sugetsu goes to the top. Karen, oh boy, oh man, to the bottom. She is one of the worst URs now. She's just outclassed by everyone out there. Even some SRs are doing better. Like Tsunade does way better than her with Tsunade's LB2. So definitely at the bottom, guys. When she first came out, it was a lot of hype, and I hyped her a lot, I have to admit. But she definitely doesn't deserve the hype anymore. She goes to the bottom. Jugo, also to the bottom. He was better originally back then. Now there are just way too many LB2s that are out there that are killing him. And his new LB2, the crit suppression was just unnecessary. They should have given him something better. But yeah, he goes to the bottom. He was as expected originally in my mind, but after reviewing the rest of the tanks, he doesn't belong up there. All right, Sasuke Kirin, Sasuke Black Costume, easily at the top. He is now probably, in my opinion, one of the top characters in the game, and I think that opinion stands for a lot of people. When he first came out, there was so much hate about him, but now everybody wants him. I mean, if you go to Discord, you'll see everybody wants Sasuke Kirin. I got mine to 6, luckily, and I'll be staying at the top probably for server 1 for him. But he was my OG 5-star, and I loved his kit back then, and now he's even better with his limit break too. So definitely one of the best nukes in the game, one of the best supports in the game, and easily one of the best characters in the game. So big ups to him. Kakashi, as expected, he just gets good. He just gets better. He's like fine wine, you know. He just gets older and better. He's one of the OGs. But there's nothing that there's no nerf on him. He maintains, so he's as expected. Kasame to the bottom. It sucks. All these Akatsuki SR characters are just getting crapped on. It's horrible. But yeah, he's at the bottom. There was really no need for him to even have the skill set that he has. I wish they made him more of a nuke with chakra ability down, but they gave him the tank abilities, and he's just outclassed by way too many tanks out there. Itachi to the top. Listen, a lot of you guys hate on him because he didn't have a stun, but if you watch my videos, especially the Kasame video and the Itachi video, you see this man is hitting up to 1,000,000 of damage in arena. So he is the only pure nuke in this game, and he's going to maintain that. So Itachi deserves to be at the top. So if you guys have him and you're doing this event and you build him up, guys. He's going to sit in your team and he's going to blow stuff up for you. He's like your nuclear weapon, essentially. So definitely at the top. And Jiraiya, as expected. He's a support character that gives a ton of offense to T. It gives a lot of attack power. It stacks. So it also he raises your tribe gauge, and if he dies, he gives you even more buffs, and he has his own chakra boost. So definitely, as expected, a really good character. And I just put his video out, so definitely take a watch for that if you guys haven't seen it. So that's it, guys. I think that pretty much covers every character I've done. We are going to be going through the rest of the roster. As you can see, some characters have dropped. Okay, so specifically, if you guys want to go through the list without remembering too much of it, to the bottom we have Papa Sasuke, Adult Sasuke, Karin, Jugo, Killer Bee, Kasami, Sasori. Those are the 6 characters that are at the bottom. Okay, as expected, majority of them you guys already know: Sasuke Hebi, Kakashi, Chiyo, Hinata, Naruto Kage, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, Boruto. And to the top, we have Sasuke Black Costume, or aka Sasuke Kirin, aka my boy, Gaara, Sakura Blossom, Neji, Guy, Sugetsu, Adult Sakura, and I. There are a lot more that are going to be coming up with showcases, and we'll do the same ranking again once we're done those guys. But for now, that's the list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will post that list up on the video at the end of the video, so take a look if you want to see what my opinion is. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everybody.